Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's Haas, and you're probably wondering, this is not a review. And that would be very observant of you. No, this here is SMITE, and I do hope some of you remember that I used to do SMITE guides back when it was in closed beta, albeit only a couple. Now, SMITE has recently, I believe on January 24, gone into open beta, and it is very much a game I've been spending time with whenever I just need to waste a few good hours. It's a third-person MOBA game, and I figured, why not share some of this madness? Now these are obviously not full-on guides. Think of these as gameplay videos first. Just one full match I've played. Possibly, if you feel like it, guide light videos at best. Because hopefully I can give some quick tips and gameplay for champions in an ever-changing MOBA balanced landscape. Now as you can see, this game has already started, and I picked the newest god called Apollo, who in SMITE is merely the god of music. In mythology, he is of course much more than just that. And in SMITE, apparently being the god of music mostly comes down to kicking a lot of ass. Well, that's the plan anyway. Item-wise, I find picking the Death's Toll item and 1 rank of warrior tubby boots to be the most effective at the start. And then of course, finishing it with 1 health potion. This tends to give you a good mix of sustain with the lifesteal from Death's Toll, mobility from the boots, and all around just more damage. Now I'm laning here with a Thor, which can make for an incredibly aggressive lane if you play your cards right, and we're starting out by going into the jungle. Since he has picked the active ability called Hand of the Gods, which allows him to quickly kill creeps, we can probably get 2 camps of neutral creeps killed before we actually move into our lane, which would give us a lot more money and experience over our enemies. Now I'm letting Thor have the mana buff here that you get from killing this specific group, because hopefully he'll be damaging our enemies a lot with his hammer throw ability, so he'll need the mana. So straight away we're getting into some action here, as their enemy Ymir, the big frosty guy, decides he wants to tango. Thor proceeds to engage on him, and I damage him a bit with the first ability called So Beautiful. Thor dodges his frost breath by getting behind him, and I'm a little reluctant to go in with all the creeps, but notice I have half of my audacity bar filled, which is my passive, so I hit him in between the creeps once, charge through the archers with the third ability, gaining enough audacity to activate my passive, and finish him off with a few quick hits, and that is the first blood for us. As you can see, this combo can be quite effective. So, as you probably noticed, I started with the first ability called So Beautiful, a great name. Apollo is very much the Han Solo of SMITE, I find. So Beautiful is a pretty simple ability, a line damage attack, but the great thing here is that it can pass through enemies and walls. The second ability I picked was the third ability, which is called The Moves, and is a charge that knocks back all enemies hit, damages them, gives me stacks of my passive, and finally slows enemies' movement speed or increases allies' movement speed at the end location. My passive in turn is called Audacity, which normally means I need to get 10 normal hits in to gain this passive, and it then gives me 100% more attack speed. The actual second ability is called Serenade and mesmerizes, which means they are stunned until they take damage, all enemies in a very small area of effect around me for a very short time. I find leveling this up last to be the best thing to go for, as it is in my opinion not hugely useful. You should certainly use it as much as you can, as it stops them for just a little while, which can be great. Plus you can interrupt important abilities such as Thor's spinning attack, but all in all it seems very situational. So I would recommend going for So Beautiful first, followed by The Moves, and finally Serenade, picking up your ultimate whenever you can, which is something we'll get into in a moment, I'm sure. So after a bit of laning with not much going on, the Frost Giant is again out of position, and Thor quickly punishes him for it by blocking and stunning him as I move in with a So Beautiful. And he hits us with a Frost Breath. No matter, we damage him some more, and he activates the Aegis Amulet, making him invulnerable, but it doesn't matter as I can easily hit him once he gets out of it, and that's, abandon ship. Kali decides to come gank us, but no matter because we can fly. Well, Thor died anyway, so let's revenge his death by taking down Neith and immediately dying thereafter. As it turns out, our ultimate is kind of great. It has a delay, but summons a chariot, with which we can fly across the sky, as the name of the ability is called. Apollo can stay in this for as long as he has mana to sustain it, as it drains mana per second. It is great for chasing and escaping, as landing with it does damage per second in the target area. Not to mention, you can break out of most ultimates with this. So as we ease back into laning, I'm keeping Serenade at rank 1, and have bought the final upgrades for Warrior Tubby and Purification Beads, as they are all around a really useful item, allowing you to escape crowd control. As we're pushing the lane pretty hard, Umir decides to use his Frost Breath on the creep wave, giving us an easy chance at harassing. He quickly puts up his Frost Wall but eats all the damage from Thor's hammer, and he quickly gives chase as he activates his ultimate to jump Umir. I charge in to assist, and as Thor kills Umir, I use Serenade on Neith to stop her for a brief moment. Poseidon then arrives to assist Neith, and I figure I'd take no chances and use Across the Sky to get out safely. As the third item, I pick up the Devourer's Gloves. These give you a ton of physical damage and lifesteal if you can get them early, as you get stacks based on creep kills. Generally, with Apollo, I'd recommend going for high damage and especially on-hit attacks due to his 100% attack speed increase from Audacity. Then a little action happens around the middle and I go in to assist as Anubis picks up the kill on Umir. As me and Thor are walking through the jungle, we notice the middle is in a bit of a fight, so we both activate our ultimates for extreme ganking mode, and as we land, Thor picks up the kill. A bit thereafter, I notice the middle is yet again in some trouble, as our Anubis even dies. I activate Across the Sky to assist, land too quickly, but still pick up Poseidon with So Beautiful, and we try to engage on Kali. Sadly, Kali is not messing around, and kind of hurts, but we're persistent, and I completely miss So Beautiful. A few good hits, and I'm confident I can take on Kali. Just a few hits, this'll be easy, and... What is... Come on! Yay! I kill Kali! Double kill! Woo! But our bad luck hasn't run out yet, as a giant teamfight erupts that is just a giant mess. So in the end, I decide to do what I do very well, and escape on my trusty chariot. As my fourth item, I start building towards the Executioner. Now, this is of course an attack speed item, which I'd say is not a huge priority for Apollo, but nevertheless is always useful. More to the point though, once you get the full item, every normal attack lowers the enemy's physical protection, which is great in combination with Audacity. In an attempt to turn the tables, we find them at the Gold Fury, which when killed of course gives them a bunch of gold. Now, one thing I want to note here is keep in mind when using the moves that you will be knocking back enemies, and knocking them back can result in them escaping or otherwise team members missing their abilities. Not to mention, if you use it too early, you might have just blown your only escape. The team fight goes well, beyond stepping right into Neve's Immobilize, but we don't really care at this point, and kill all of them except for Umir, just missing out on the deicide. As my fifth item, I pick up Quinn's Blades. This gives you a bit more health, damage and attack speed, but more importantly adds an additional on-hit effect, where you do damage based on the enemy's total health pool. A skirmish rapidly escalates into a bigger team fight, and I get the kill on Neith. Anubis grabs the running Guanju, and I use Serenade to stop the creeps, because why not? As Kali runs away, me and Anhur give chase, but things get a little bit more chaotic. Poseidon releases the Kraken, and Kali actually kills Anhur. Thor stops her madness, and we chase them towards their second middle tower. Ares gets the kill on Poseidon, and this time we're not letting Umir escape, as Thor finishes him off. Followed by a quick concede from them, as we are victorious. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of Good Smite Brawlin'. I am figuring out the optimal format for this. It's very much meant to just be an occasional in-between thing when I don't have anything specific to review, or otherwise make content off. Or whenever I just feel like killing some of them noobs, as us cool kids say. My name's been Haas, and I'll see you guys next time.